This is Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Julie.
Join us for unbuttoned and unedited conversations.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. My name is Sarah.
And I'm Julie, and we're excited to welcome Crystal Lowe to the podcast. Welcome.
Here I am.
Yay. Thank you, Crystal, for taking time out of your day to talk with us. We're so excited.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Are you kidding me? I feel like people are so annoyed. I was just talking to Kristen Booth this morning and mentioning that I would literally sit next to anybody on a street corner and tell them about this movie, even if they don't want to hear about it.
Well, I feel like we're hosting Celebrate Crystal Lowe and celebrate the whole partnership with the Make Her Mark directing program at Hallmark. Welcome to the party.
Thank you. It's what a huge thing to celebrate. What a massive accomplishment by Ashley Williams. But this and know this, guys. I keep saying this everywhere because she was annoying and won't tell everyone herself. She did not get paid to do this. This was not an initiative that she started this herself, put it together herself. Spent years and years begging and pleading for people to listen, and there was some reception, but it was, lukewarm. And then Lisa Hamilton Daly came along, and Randy Pope got behind, and it became a reality. And like that, for her to fight, like she doesn't get anything out of this except for the pure joy of other women getting work. And I feel like somebody said to me, "Well, at what point does it become cannibalism, where you're like you're taking out yourself so that?" And I was like, "That's not how women think."
Nope.
We don't.
I'm just going to say, absolutely not. Rise up and lift each other up because we will all be better for it.
100%. And we need each other, right? And there's room. There's so much more space than we've been told historically, which is there's just one seat. There's like a million seats. So, she never listened to that and has now created opportunity for women everywhere to be a part of storytelling women's stories, which just makes sense,
Also, the seats rotate often for a wide variety of reasons. And sometimes it's your turn to rotate in and tell your story.
Yep.
Yeah, no, so what I think we are getting out of her vision is we are seeing high quality processes being put into place, and we're going to end up being the benefactors of the outcomes on our screen.
Sure. We just have a different, I think I've said this maybe before, but we've grown up as women only watching the male gaze predominantly. So like, we don't even necessarily sometimes know what we like yet, because we've just been told what we're supposed to like for years and years and years. And that comes from marketing and advertising. I'm not going to say any specific network, but there was a lot of fairy tales that were told to us, without maybe asking us how we felt at the end, where they were like happily ever after, but you have to do all the house cleaning and also maybe work and also take care of all the children and also do everything. Like nobody told us that, so they were just like,
I will say that network did make a little change, like even in Frozen, and said,
yes,
no, you're not married.
No. Yeah. And
falling on him a day.
I'm married, and I love being the caretaker to my kids, and I'm very, very active in their life while I work. So I'm fully on board for both. I just think it's really nice to see, for us to start discovering what we find attractive, what we find sexy. It might be very different than what we think.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Female voices matter.
Right. So with you saying that, one of the things I think that women really appreciate is more that connection piece. And it's not always a candle or right? It's not always like that
romance, like something grand, right?
It's the small, to me, I think I always say that my husband won me over because he listened. The day that I ended up saying, oh, this guy I like, is because he bought me a plate of 5-cent candies, and he had every single candy that I'd ever mentioned. I mean, these candies were like fuzzy, but he remembered all of those.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, because you were listening.
Put that into one of your movies.
I really should.
Yes.
Because
that would be a cute Easter egg.
I should. It's one of those, it's the small stuff, I think, for a lot of women. We just want to feel heard and seen. And for me, there's nothing better than a guy who is super cool and has the world at his, fingertips everywhere else. except when he's with me. You know what I mean? When you start seeing them fumbling and you're like, oh,
Right.
Right.
Oh,
tripping
wait,
over backwards, stumble over their words.
Oh, you're nervous because of it's not it. It's just that is adorable for us, right? That's
right.
Yes.
They have their act
they
together.
write books about that, right?
I don't think men really even know that because they've been told to be cool, James Dean. They've been told to be only this one thing, and it's like, no, we love humor. We love
right
a guy who can laugh at himself.
And if they're funny about something that's very specific to you, that's like,
yes.
Right. It's it's a little Jane Austen-y for the guys to be stumbling over them, but that's why those books are popular with women.
Mm-hmm.
That's
of course, because it makes us feel like we're the only one that that throws them off their game. For me, and I love that. I'm like, wait, I'm the only one that throws you off your game. Yes, like I love that. It's like so fun.
Like I think it's those personal connections and not so much like that fairy tale.
Right.
Yeah, the fairy tale is lovely. It's wonderful, but a deeper connection, I think us women are really interested in. I want somebody who can go toe to toe with me. I want somebody who encourages me to be better, not just from words, but from their own actions. Someone that inspires me, somebody that, those are the kind of men that I think we need to see. And somebody that has real core values in who they are and what, that is really attractive.
Right.
Right. And knows who they are. I think that's also, and that, again, these are discussions I would have with all my girlfriends, but
right. How do we bring that to the screen? Right.
I was just going to say, were you able to bring any of those little pieces?
Yeah.
Into shifting gears?
I think, it was great because my cast was really open. We really, I'm going to treat every movie that I get, and I don't care if it's for a network or it's for just me. Like the last time I'm going to get to shoot a movie and it's a tiny little indie and I just happen to have a really great budget and I'm going to put my whole little heart and soul into that. Every decision that was in there is like so specific to the point of crazy. One of my producers and I are very good friends now, and we laugh about it all the time because at first he was like, you're quoting Moonlight, like you're quoting Oscar-winning films, you're quoting all these, like, can we do it? And then I'll tell you an Easter egg. I don't know if it's made it into the shot, but halfway through, because I love color theory. I love color theory. So I love telling a story with color. You'll see color in this. Each of my characters has a specific color, and then as they fall, the colors blend together. So everybody on my crew knew this. And at one point I look over and there's my producer, Mike Barbudo, who I adore, with these kids' cars. And he's like, no, it has to be the red and the blue, and he's like running out in the shot, trying to move the kids' cars. He's like, can you see it? And I was like, this is the best.
Yes. That's amazing. That's amazing. We were just talking to Tyler, who is your male lead in this movie, and he asked us exactly what it is that we're looking for in these movies, and that's what we told him. We love those connections that sit and talk, the more emotional depth, and Sarah said, and it can be funny and engaging.
Yes,
right, like that back and forth when characters get to really kind of have at it, whether it's a serious conversation or bickering or flirty or whatever. But when you get those moments that aren't rushed, that's why we're here.
Well, and think about it. Tyler just did actually what we really want. He said, hey guys, what do you want to see? And that is such a beautiful thing that he just did, because he cares enough to say, I'm not going to just tell you what you want to see. I want to know what makes you guys enjoy these shows. I want to hear what you're that. It's a lot for, thank you. That's the way it's supposed to be. So good. I'm glad. I knew he would. And he's always stepping up.
Us too. It's very Tyler.
It is very Tyler.
Which we love. I mean, literally, like we knew him. We know him from movies. He's done so many of them. We love him, but we actually know him in person from a couple of fan events. We did 2 different ones before we ever had him on the podcast, and so it's actually Tyler the man that we just very much enjoy.
That's why he is who he is in the network. It's just funny. Like I think about Roma Drama, and I was like, whose lineup is this? My God. How did you even get through to talk to him? And I also, thank God the Heinies are now on my side. Thank you, Heinies. I love you.
Shout out to the
that was like,
Heinies. Hi, everybody.
yeah, these girls are fierce. Like, I will not get in the way. I will move out of your way, you know, if you need me to. So, but they have been instrumental in pushing this film. My God,
Yes.
they are so intense and in the best way.
Right.
They're
But
lovely.
speaking of fandoms, this movie is crashing fandoms. We have the Sign, Sealed, Deliver fandom. We have the Heinies.
Yes.
We might have to say something about Sign, Sealed, Deliver in a minute.
Maybe.
We have the Heinies. We have the Good Witch fandom. We
And
have
the
the Journal
Earpers.
Hallmark fandom. It's
Don't
like,
forget this. So
It's Luther's, yeah.
we're bringing out Earpers, and the Earpers are from Wynonna Earp. So what's crazy about that with Kat is that she has a massive fan base in the sci-fi world, and
Right.
the sci-fi community is now coming to Hallmark because, you know, we have one of their favorite stars coming to Hallmark. Like that, for me, you know, part of what I want to see is people from all walks of life coming together and enjoying something. That's what film does.
Yep.
You know, film like inspires people, and it gives people a place to breathe and to sit and just to have a common. Imagine, you know, people that love sci-fi would never really be interested in your mind in Hallmark, and vice versa, you know. And yet here we are, we can all watch a movie because we love these stars. And then maybe you're like, well, what else is she in? I'm gonna go watch that sci-fi show. I love that love story. And they're like addicted to Hallmark now. Like, what a beautiful coming together of all different people.
Right. Did that make when you got this movie and then you found out, you know, Tyler was in it and Kat, and then of course you have Kristen Booth in it as your number 3. So when you have these powerful, I want to say powerful fandoms because they're large and loud in a good way. Did you feel more pressure from that, or was that more exciting?
More exciting. Just so you know, pressure is not. My Barbie, I call him. He's my producer on this. Halfway through shooting, he goes, "Oh, you're a fear chaser," and I was like, "What's a fear chaser?" And he was like, "You are like, what am I afraid of more?" You know, I love growth. So knowing that we had these superpowers all combined, to me, to be honest, I don't know why we don't do this more. And I'm guessing after this film, we will, because I love it. It's wonderful to see a crossover. It's wonderful to have your favorite stars. It kind of like. And Hallmark has that charm of an old studio, and we don't see that anymore, right? It's they're telling new stories, but they have the charm of like everybody in the Hallmark world is like their own star, like it used to be, within this community, you know, and that they can place and move people, and that is cool. So I think this is going to start something. That's what I think.
All right. Speaking of stars in their own community, excuse me, your number 3 is Kristen Booth.
As if she had a choice, like not.
She's like the queen of Sign, Sealed, Delivered, right?
I know.
And you guys have such amazing past and history and future.
And
future. Yes, congratulations.
That
is so exciting.
Guys, I'm leaving soon, you know, like we're getting ready. And I first of all, Kristen Booth will be with me everywhere because she doesn't have a choice. That woman is like literally part of my DNA now. We are best friends. So but yeah, no, we are. I have been sitting on this for so long. It's been killing me. Killing me. You know,
how long have you been killing the fandom?
I've known for a while. I've known for a very long time, and I just couldn't say anything. So I just got some scripts, and I am reading the scripts currently.
Scripts? Is there a plural to that?
There is.
That is amazing.
And that's super cool.
Shot back to back?
Yes.
Okay, so
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, but I'm saying it. Yeah, you know, because
they've done that recently. The Young Auroras are shooting back to back. The Allie Sweeney and Victor Webster just shot Hannah's the Hannah Swenson series back to back. So that is being done more. That's amazing news.
Yeah, it really is. I just the Postables. Those women have been fighting, and men have been fighting for so long and so hard, you know, and they just never gave up hope. And and also Sign, Sealed, our show is so weird because it's like, it's re-airing and we're getting like new fans now. And it's been years, you know, so it's because Martha's writing is so layered. And every time you watch it, you're like, oh, you can watch it over and over again. And it still feels
find
new.
something new, or
Yeah, that's good writing.
Yeah, it's so well done.
It's amazing. Will all of our fan favorites, will all the leads be there? We're going to see everyone.
Oh yeah, I mean,
everyone's back.
We have, yeah, I mean, it can't be signed sealed without it. That show, it's so funny because I think it started maybe with the idea that it was just going to be, Kristen and Eric, and then it just kind of turned into this massive ensemble show. And it's just a show that's an ensemble show. Like all of our characters are so different from one another and very well fleshed out. So we have lots of story, from Oliver's dad to Zach Santiago.
Who's been that's always a fun story.
He's the best. He's the best.
So fast.
And let me tell you, that evolved so much, right? Like, and this is for young actors who are listening to this. Zach came on for one episode, right? He came on to be this dance instructor who was ridiculous and over the top and super fun. And then Martha just, fell in love with his work. And Zach is super talented, so it's easy. But, then she just started writing more and more for him. And for any young actor listening to this, just know that, because when you get a job, sometimes you think, oh, this isn't that big, or anything can happen where somebody sees what you bring to the table and writes for you. And Martha did that for me for Rita, because I was not supposed to be cast as Rita. Like, I was the last minute addition to that foursome. I found out I auditioned on Monday and I started on Wednesday.
Wow.
It was insane.
Wow.
When I was up I had to choose between that show and another show. And that
you made a good choice.
I really did. I mean, Martha called me and actually said, I will write for you every day if you take this show. I was like, well, how am I going to say no to that? Am I going to say no?
You can't say no to that.
Right.
But
you can't say no to Martha. No.
Yeah.
Also, that commitment really pays off, because those characters are complex and detailed, and they keep getting layers added to them. I mean, just like even Norman's family, it's like, that's like part of
Also, look who I got to work with. Like, I worked with Carol Burnett, for God's sake. I worked with some of the greats. I was the last person on screen with Della Reese, before she passed away. Like, I had massive things, wonderful, wonderful things happen on that show. So I'm very, very fortunate.
Well, this is certainly fabulous news. And, Instagram was blowing up yesterday. Our chats were blowing up. We're really good friends with Casey and Cam. So we're so excited for that crew.
Yeah. Super, super fun. So you have all this experience and amazing people around you. Was that a great foundation to bring as you transitioned through this Make Her Mark program and directed Shifting Gears? We're shifting gears and then directed Shifting Gears.
Oh, it's yes, of course. I mean, because I've grown up on set since I was 15. And I don't know if I teach acting, and I teach a lot of actors about this stuff, where I always say, I didn't go to a fancy school, unfortunately. I wish I had. Wish I had gone to Juilliard or Yale, but I didn't. I had to teach myself from the ground up. Everything I've ever done, I've taught myself. Even when I bought a restaurant, I taught myself how to write a business plan. I have a high school education. I just Googled business plan. I wrote a business plan and applied for money. Everything is self-taught. And because of that, it has given me, I think, a different grit and a different drive. So when I was on sets, in the beginning, it was all about me just trying to figure out how to act. And then as time progressed, I was like, something is missing. Something is missing. And I love to be challenged. I have to be challenged in the things that I'm doing, or I need to grow. And so I just started producing. That's where it really started. I had a restaurant, and then because I got the money for that, I was like, maybe I should start producing. That seemed pretty good. And then I was like, something else is missing. And a friend asked me to direct a short. I directed that short. And that day I drove home from that set, I was like, oh, this feels right. Yeah. It really does. This feels like the tingly magic feeling. But getting here took so long, you guys. And I just want to say that, because if there's any filmmakers listening to this, male or female, any filmmaker, just keep going, like inch by inch. You don't know when it's going to pay off. It doesn't matter when it's going to pay off. Find a higher purpose for why you're doing it. And that will get you through the times. Because that's really, for me, I had to come to a point where I was like, I'm a filmmaker, regardless of you giving me an opportunity. I am going to make films. I am going to go and get any money I can from any place I can. I will go back and bartend if I have to. I will do whatever I have to do to make my movies because I'm a filmmaker and that's what I do. And I have something to say to the world. I have something to share. I have a voice. And once I claimed that,
right,
you know, it made it easier to get rejected. And I have been rejected so many times. I can't tell you how many things I've applied for. And you know what? I'm not going to stop applying. I'm going to keep applying. I will never stop applying for things. And I'm going to start a coffee table book of all my rejection letters. And then on the other side, it's going to be my acceptance letters. And I'm sure that the ratio will be
that.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. How long did that take? Like how you went, you directed a few shorts, I think.
Yeah.
And then, so how long from that process did it take to get to, you know, talking with Ashley and then getting this, you know, make Hallmark program?
I mean, I directed my first short, I think in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a long time ago.
Over
and
a decade.
People did not, this has happened all my life. You know, people sometimes look at me and think that one thing of me, and you do Rita really well, or I modeled for a long time. So like, that's how they saw me. And they just did not want to see me any other way.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took years and years and years of just continually going, no, I'm not going to stop this. I'm not going to stop this. Taking writing classes, applying for fellowships, getting denied from those fellowships, you know, doing anything I could. And I'm talking like the last short I made, $1,500 was my shooting budget. It ended up being, I think, $6,000 in total because I was able to raise money because people were willing to help me. But, you know, I had a camera op, a sound guy, and me. We didn't even have a slate. We were like, oh no, we don't have a slate. My friend got a cell phone and was like, here you go, and did the slate on his phone. You know, we just did whatever we had to do. I made all the furniture for my short. And then I took it apart and brought it back to IKEA. Don't tell them. I don't do this. What are you talking about? I don't have the money for that.
Yeah.
I have a $1,500 budget. We are doing whatever we got to do to make this thing happen. So it was a long, long process. And then I ran into Ashley at Rama Drama.
Yeah.
So we talked there, and she said this program. I had heard whispers about the program, but it hadn't come. And then she was telling me about it, and I asked her if I could talk to her and just go for a hike. And she goes, yeah, let's just go for a hike. So we went for a hike. I strapped my baby to my back.
Yeah.
Like 2. He's 2 now. He was like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that always because there's moms and dads out there who are like, well, what am I going to do? I have a young child. You know what you do? You just bring them with you. And you know what? If somebody can't accept that, that's on them. Like I have produced films while I was breastfeeding. I can make calls while I'm breastfeeding. I can do all that stuff. So
can do most of everything. Yes, we've been there.
So the working women thing, and how does that look, and how does that feel? Like, that's such a valid point. And I think Ashley, being a woman bringing this forward, actually understands that. I am a woman in critical care, and I watch some amazing women bring it while they're nursing and raising families and working weird hours too. That's the other thing with this.
Right.
You know, I think that's something that for me, I adopt initiatives going forward. Like, I found out that there were some women that were pregnant on my set for Shifting Gears, and they were nervous to tell me. Actually, they didn't tell me. And I know why, because I've been there. I'm so scared to tell people I'm pregnant or I have a child, and I actually called them privately and just said, hey, I know you're good, man. Don't worry about it. Your babysitter craps out. Just bring your son. Like, what's going to happen? Nothing. You know, it's okay. We have trailers here. We'll figure it out. Like, you'll find a sitter. They'll come in a couple hours and it's going to be fine. I just want to take the pressure off you that you feel like you have to do this and you can't. If you got to go vomit. Like, you're growing a human, you know, there's a person in your body. It's okay. We can still do this while supporting each other.
Right.
And Ashley did the same with me. She looked at me having my baby on my back as a strength, not as a weakness. And we had a hike. I asked her a million questions about what can I do? Where should I apply? Any advice she gave me, I immediately went home, spent that week taking all of her advice, submitting and whatever. And then that's how it kind of all came together. And I think I was on a list because I had been bugging them for years.
Yeah.
Years.
I really love that. I love that it started with a conversation, and that, I mean, honestly, Ramadrama that weekend was so magical for so many reasons. And now we have this to kind of pinpoint to that weekend. So
yeah,
I love that. It's wonderful. And you're talking, Crystal, and I'm sitting here feeling teary-eyed because this is how it should be everywhere. I mean, women should always feel empowered that they can still do their job even though they have a family. And sometimes life gets in the way, but you figure out, that's one of our superpowers, I think, as mothers and as women, is you figure it out. Like, right, you figure out how to make it all work. So I love that environment you created.
Of course, that you have to give each other grace. And you know, I can't take that all credit either. It was shown to me, like on Signed Sealed, I was pregnant twice. No, 3 movies I was pregnant. One of them I was 9 months pregnant in the Valentine's. I'm so pregnant in that movie. We just like put cards in front of me and like hid my belly. That's how they did. I carried boxes. You know, I was terrified to tell them that I was pregnant. I was so scared. I was almost in tears when I told them, and they were like, "It's okay, you're okay." I mean, they let me shoot. They were like, "It's okay, we'll just write around it. We'll figure it out." But because, you know, we've been fired for it, or we've been fired because we're so scared that we can't with childcare. And God, I'm like so panicked. And then our children, forget it. Why are we doing that? That doesn't make any sense. It's okay for you to bring your child here for an hour. You still have to do your job, but like one of us can step in until you get your babysitter in. Let's just come together. And I mean, they didn't need it on my set, but I don't want that climate of fear. I just don't. It's unnecessary and it's a waste of time, and it actually slows things down. So
I love that. We don't need a climate of fear. We need a climate of support and encouragement. When you raise somebody up, you make the entire thing better. So when you walk along somebody, we're all stronger for it. And it's one of the things that I teach when I'm teaching residents is that we walk alongside you. Like, I'm not here to belittle you or talk, but you get the outcome is so much better, right?
Of course, because the truth is that most people, I think, don't actually need as much support. They just need to hear they have it. And so as soon as they know that, like, you have me, I got you, you're good, then they're like, oh, okay. And then they can breathe and do the job they need to do, you know?
Absolutely.
Yes, do we have to hold a standard? For sure. But there is room for us just to coming together. And I think seeing more women in this field is going to change film for that reason too. And also the men too. I'm like, these men are dads too. There's a ton of single dads out there. There's dads out there that never get to see their kids because they're always doing stuff. I want to give them, you know, your family is important. They matter. They're going to run the world after we're gone. It's pretty crucial that we support and love them and integrate them a little more, just a little bit. Anyways, so I'm very passionate about that, as you can see. And
I think we are both too. So we knew we would love this conversation. But let's shift a little bit back to shifting gears, since that's why you're here. Tell us, how would you describe the film?
Oh, it's such a fun ride. I mean, first of all, what's great about it is that it's a female in a predominantly male industry, you know. And so we don't see this often. And what I love that Hallmark's doing is that we're seeing fresh, new, interesting things while still understanding what we really want, which is a love story, right? Like we get to see a female mechanic. When have we ever seen that on this network? We've never seen something like that before, but she's falling in love. Great. This is the perfect combo. I get to see, and I feel like it's representing a lot of women that don't get to see themselves on screen, which not all women, you know, we like to do a lot of things. And
we're not all running, you know, a bakery or
no, we all do different stuff. And this is something that I talked about when we were looking at the script. And again, this is because I have a female perspective, but I was like, no, she can be wearing makeup. They were like, do you want her to not, you know, do you want her to be a tomboy? I was like, no. Why can't she wear makeup and fix the car? Why can't she take her makeup on when she wants and then put it back on when she? I don't understand why she can't do all those things. Like, there's not one or the other. It's she loves classic cars. She also likes getting dressed up once in a while. Yeah. Crazy idea, I know, but we can do them all. So, you know, there was a lot of fun discussion about that. And we actually changed some of the dialogue, which I loved. Originally, there was a piece that was written about how, you know, Jess's mom was loved to wear makeup and be glamorous, and she didn't like wearing makeup and she's not like her. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to make this more internal. So we talked about it and we changed that to being that Jess's mom was an extrovert and Jess is an introvert. And so Jess's mom was always able to walk in a room and wow a crowd, but she's by nature an introvert, and so she doesn't feel. And and there's in the scenes out right now. It's you can see it on as one of the ads, but Tyler talks to her about that, right? And he was like, "No, you're just as fierce, just in a different way.
Right,
you're doing the thing that you're." And so that is just deepening, even just those tiny tweaks of like, let's talk about what's internal, not external.
That brings more depth, and that's the connection we want to see.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Also, the external introvert mother daughter. I maybe can relate to that one.
Well,
really,
that's me and my daughter too. My poor daughter is like, stop writing my name in scripts. And I'm like, sorry, baby. And I changed her name to Mia, not Mila, and she was like, "It's too close. It's too close."
Yeah, they might come as no surprise that I'm the extrovert of the two of us.
Me too.
The introvert.
Opposite for me. Yeah, my mom is the extrovert for sure.
Oh, wow.
But
these
are connections.
Yeah.
This is connections instead of like the surface things. Like it's the romance is through the connection, not the like I made a pretty date, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Well, and the Luke and Jess character, the thing I really liked about them, and we've, it's a classic kind of like exes reuniting story. But what I liked about them is that they were making each other grow. And are they totally capable of being on their own? Absolutely. Would they have succeeded in their own field? Yes. Jess would have figured something out with her dad. They would have done it. But together they are so much more powerful because they both give something a piece the other maybe needs. He pushes her to come into herself a little more, and she grounds him to say, don't forget who you are, and it's okay to be not what you think you're supposed to be. And that is like, that's what a relationship is supposed to be. You're supposed to find somebody that, complements the pieces that you might feel need a little extra love. So I like the movie a lot for that.
I love that. And, it's those connections, those deeper connections. I mean, Signed, Sealed, Delivered literally has made an empire out of those deeper connections. Yes. And then you bring in that sparkly thing or that thing, like maybe there's an all ring involved or maybe, right?
Yeah. And comedy. Signed, Sealed brings in comedy, and that's something I want to see on Hallmark even more. And the Hallmark execs also talk about a lot about bringing more comedy. I'm a rom-com girl. Like, I'm obsessed with rom-coms.
Yeah.
We very much fall into the rom-com too. Like, we love a rom-com.
Yeah, that's my jam. Like, on set, I play Whitney Houston, How Will I Know? I play every John Hughes song. Like, my playlist is like Peter Gabriel in her eyes. Like, I am like all about the 80s and 90s rom-coms. That's my aesthetic. That's how I think. So you're going to see a lot of that.
Use a lot of that music.
Fun. We'll have
in
to
our social media posts also, because we have social media on a couple of different levels, and so we roll out those same things like in your eye. Okay, can we stand there and put the boombox on our shoulder?
Well, that was a joke. I said to my husband,
wait, can we make that happen in the next movie?
I would die to make that happen, and I will do my best. Trust me, I will do. I mean, even in this, you'll see like, because I'm really trying to figure out my voice as a director. That's really my goal, is finding my specific voice. And I joke, but it's kind of true. My voice is kind of like an 80s Kylie Minogue in the early 2000s, mixed together. It's like John Hughes and then a little bit of Kylie with her vibe. I love.
I'm there for it. I am there for that voice.
Yeah.
I heard you talk a bit about your color theory and how much you like that. Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm obsessed with color theory. Okay, so the first time I saw Moonlight was the first time I saw it, and if you guys haven't seen the film, it was an Oscar-nominated film. Yeah. Oh no, Oscar-winning film. Yeah. Even if you don't watch the film, look at the poster, and you're really going to see it, because that's where I was like, oh my God, they're telling a story with color. It's like pink and blue and purple in the middle. Oh my God, because it's a story about a man who's dealing with feminine and masculine, and in a place where he doesn't know if he can be accepted and fit in, and here's his purple coming through it. Like that, and then in certain scenes, they have big pops of pink when he's talking to his mom, when he's like, they really told story with color, and I'm obsessed with it. Like, I love it so much. So, you know, Aisha is also loves color theory. That's my exec at Hallmark, which was super cool because she was into me, you know, really interjecting pops. So for this color palette, I chose the classic Americana. It's actually the Pretty Woman color palette.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
red, blue, white, and red, blue.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Well, and goes good with the
it.
mechanics, right? Really goes good with that place and cars and how things look in that world too. So
yeah, and there's lots of little homages. Her vehicle is an homage to Thelma and Louise. I specifically asked for the Thunderbird. I was like, can you get me that? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, yes, that is I mean, Thelma and Louise was like the feminist movie of our time. So I really wanted something in there, you know, just pieces that every detail matters to me. Yeah. Every detail.
And you know what? The fandoms really pick up on those details. And that would, like, they fuel
especially
on that
these
kind of
two
stuff.
Fandoms, right, that are coming together. They're really into the details. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, these fandoms love those kinds of details. So that's going to be amazing. I mean, we even see it in like some of the contemporary series on like almost a blatant on your screen thing. Bridgerton literally is like, this is the yellow family and this is the
right. And I just enjoy it. Like I think color makes you feel a lot, and I don't think you know it makes you feel. And that's kind of music, same thing, so important to me. Music, color. And I also am starting to play with shape now. Like I'm like, oh, shapes of people, you know, like round is joyful for me, and like tall and thin, what does that mean? Like all these, I just, you know, the directors that I really love are people like, you know, Baz Luhrmann's Strictly Ballroom. I love big, grandy kind of fun storytelling visually. That's kind of my jam. Bridgerton, I love the way Bridgerton is shot because of, you know, they kind of
because of the grand visuals.
They lean into being stylistic, and Hallmark was gentle enough, kind enough to let me lean in while still staying on brand, and it felt, you know, but it was enough for me to like.
You know what, the fandoms though, like are enjoying those a little bit more variances and the more depth that you're bringing with all those different pieces. It makes those movies that are 2-hour escape much more enjoyable. We love that interaction and those things coming to our screen. But you know, we're also watching those other things, and so we appreciate when that is being brought in the Hallmark realm of things too. So
Hallmark has really opened up so much. They really have. They've opened up in a way. Lisa Hamilton Daly has done a fantastic job too of leading charge in just, you know, trying things and being like, hey guys, I think you can absolutely, the audience is, she doesn't placate the audience, which I really appreciate. You guys are smart. I don't think people really understand how incredibly dedicated and smart these fans are. Like they are brilliant. And
they can say that all the time. Yeah,
it's like
we say that all the time. We're like, these are for a while we're like, the fans are actually opposite of what they think they are. Like there's a lot of like very engaged, very educated. You know, we're looking for that escape and for that feel good, but we appreciate the increased depth and some of the variances that are happening and the changes of the point of view of the women, because we're more the mechanic. Like there's
right. And all that really at the heart of everything is just that the network really is about hope and life and joy. You know, that's what Hallmark brings you. It's the whole point of the cards. It's like you get a Hallmark card and you feel joy for a minute, and that somebody thought of you and took the time to write something to you. And we still do that. We can do that and elevate. So I'm so glad I'm the guinea pig. I'm so glad I was the very first of this program and that they trusted me. I really am. I didn't realize at the time how high those stakes were because I had that thing called denial that we talked about.
Yes.
Where like my producer was like, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, "No, I don't know why." Like I just had this blind, and then after I was like, "Oh, those stakes are really high. If I had messed this up, that could have been really bad."
You know what? It's like that bar, and to run towards the bar, that's what fuels you. Yeah. And we love that. And we are going to be the winners because of that. We're going to get to see that come to our screen. And you've been part of other projects that have lived on that too. Like nobody's going to say something that was sort of a movie, then sort of a series, and then sort of a bunch more movies, That should be a success. Like it's fueled on like not seeing the limitations, but the forward going, right? So, oh my gosh, like so amazing. Is there another Easter egg that you can give to us? Look for in the movie.
Yeah. Kat's real life husband is in the movie. A lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like randomly in a specific spot, or
I'm not going to tell you anything else. He's in it a lot.
So he is a character, a prominent character in the movie.
That's spectacular.
That was really fun because that was like the whole family, you know. So that was cool.
Everyone hang out.
Other Easter eggs. You know, of course, I'll think about it all after we get off this, and I'll be like, "Oh,
do you have a favorite like scene or like location in the movie?"
Yeah, I have two favorite scenes. The roller rink scene is my absolute, and then I call it my Friday Night Lights shot.
Oh,
okay.
That's how it was scripted. It was scripted as a Friday Night Light. Like I wrote in my book. I got to tell you guys something so funny. I don't think I've told anyone else this, but I found out that I'm a sound effects director. So what I mean by that is there's different directors. So there's a director who does tons of these who I love, Mike Bull. I don't know if I should tell his thing, but whenever he's at the monitor, he goes like this. And that's where he edits. So like if you just watch him by himself, he goes like this and he goes like that's where he does the cut. And every director kind of has some weird thing about them, like that they do at the monitor, because we get lost, right? Like I'm watching everything, I'm in it. I do sound effects. So like apparently that's what I do. And so in my book, I'll have to find the picture of it. My script supervisor said, "Do you have your shot list? Can I just see what you want to do?" And I was like, "Yeah, I draw it in a diagram." And she's looking at it and she's like, "What's PACH? How did I spell it? EU?" And I was like, "I don't know." She goes, "What do you mean you don't know? You wrote that." And I was like, I don't know what that means. And then all of a sudden it died. I was like, "Oh, pachoo, 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 pachoo." It's like, that's the steady cam, pachoo, pachoo, getting this. And she's like, "Oh my God, did you just write out pachoo, pachoo, pachoo?" I was like, "Yes, I did."
Yes, I did. Thank you very much.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's very funny.
So you mentioned music earlier, and then the sound effects. So did you get any say in the music that's going to be playing?
Yes and no. I do a cut. My producer does a cut, and then the network does a cut, and the network cut is what you guys see. But I did get some songs that I had pushed for or suggested lightly in there. And hopefully as the world continues, I will continue to be like, what do you think of this song? I mean, I also have to really respect that Hallmark knows what they're doing. I think they know what they're doing. They've been doing this a long time. So yes, I can push the little envelope. And then
I love that. So you voluntold them a couple songs.
I was like, look at this option. What do you have to? Not that you have to. I mean, I'm Canadian, right? So it's always presented like, it's okay if you don't want it, but here's but it's fine if you don't want it. Like that's just, and I'm half Scottish, so the British, is like we just gently place something there for you to decide, and then walk away.
Gently pushing it your way.
Yeah. But they were still open to it. Like we were. I was so in on this, like I was so full on. And Barbie, my producer, was just like, the enthusiasm, I think, is what is really exciting, to get new. That's what's nice about new directors coming up. They're super enthusiastic.
I actually asked Tyler that, and that was one of his favorite things, and the enthusiasm and the feedback, the positive feedback from scenes. He just loved that. So he's like, I don't need it, but it was so enjoyable to hear.
Well, because I also am an actor and I know what it's like. Do you know how long we do this? Like we don't hear nobody tells us anything. Nobody talks to us about anything. Nobody, we just get thrown in the fire. And granted, that's our job. We get paid a lot of money to do that, but we're part of this collaboration. And now that I've been on both sides, it's hard because the train is moving, right? Like this has been collectively a train moving, and then the actors come in, they have their own point of view, and you got to kind of work with that. But I think it's really crucial to tell people, hey, you're killing this right now. This is good. I like it. And on the flip side, I'm very honest. I'll also be like, this doesn't work. It's weird. You're like, what are we doing here? But that's the nice thing about me being an actor, because me and the other actors speak the same language.
Yes, I imagine that just the connection is different than with a director that has never been in the actor's shoes before.
Yeah, we have a shorthand. You know, these are my people keep asking me, how was it with Tyler? I'm like, good. You know, because I think they're afraid, you know, there's this kind of like, oh God, but he's and I'm like, but to me, he's my peer, right? We all are. So like, it's not like it's wonderful, but it wasn't like I'm terrified of Tyler. And also Tyler's not scary.
Right, he's like the nicest human.
So I actually told him he would have been on my absolute short list to be the one of the leads in first directing movie, because he's a wonderful human, right? And he is so supportive, and but also an outstanding actor, and so it's like all
this movie was his. Like as soon as I read it, I'm like, well, this is Tyler. Like this is for him. He's the guy for this. Like it made sense.
It was Tyler's movie. Like
from the get-go. You know, the second I read it, and they just give me my leads, but like I emailed and was like, so it's Tyler, right? And they were like, yeah. How'd you know? And I was like, because of course it is.
Because this is Tyler,
As soon as I heard about the movie, I was like, Tyler's in that, right? Yeah. No, it needed to be.
It would be a crime to cast anybody else, I think. And
again, his whole family was on set. I don't know if he talked about that at all, but his nieces are in the film.
They're in it too. That's amazing.
We made his mom sit as one of the extras in the.
He did post that. Yeah.
His mom's awesome.
And she's, been on sets because he was a child actor.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of sitting on sets. It's fun to get to have her be in the set,
Yeah, she was great. She was amazing. She was just, everybody's mom. And everybody I needed a mom, like, I'm like, who's my mom? So it was great having her.
Yeah. I love that. Crystal, as we start to wrap things up, would you play a little favorites game with us?
Okay.
All right.
I feel stressed about this. I got to fix my hair. Okay. All right. Guys. Still an actor.
This is going to be a hard one. And you can give more than one answer. Rom-com. What is your favorite rom-com?
Like of all time?
You can just give a few. Generalization.
Okay. Here's my favorite Christmas rom-com is Serendipity. I love Serendipity. I've watched it a million times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, there's so many. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh yeah.
God, what else? There's so many. My favorite rom-com. Probably anything from the 80s and anything from the 90s. Everything John Hughes. Pretty in Pink. 16 Candles. I love Ducky so much. Oh my God, I wanted to be Ducky and do the dance.
Everyone wanted to be Ducky.
Everybody wanted.
Because he was like the coolest, most fun guy ever.
Oh God.
To All the Boys. I love To All the Boys. That's a new one. I love that especially that first movie. I actually took a lot of inspiration from that movie when I was designing this film. Oh my God, there's just so many. I'm going to write them down and send them to you guys because there's going to be a list.
We'll post a list.
But Serendipity.
Favorite rom-coms.
I love watching Serendipity over and over and over and over again. Yeah. And that's a Christmas rom-com. I love The Theory of Fate. It's my favorite.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful too. Like when you say that, there's certain images that just pop up into my mind. Yeah. Beautiful, like nighttime shots. And
okay, so favorite music, band or song?
It's a real range, guys. Yep. But I love Peter Gabriel because I love In Her Eyes. Constantly. I loved Time After Time. That's another song that I listen to over and over again when I'm writing from Cyndi Lauper, the original.
Yeah.
Favorite songs. Of course. There are just so many. Right now, I'm obsessed with this band called Nicotine Dolls. They're new. They were on America's Got Talent, the lead singer. Yep. He is phenomenal. I'm going to his concert soon. I'm so excited. I would like put his poster on my wall. Like I'm kind of fan obsessed. It's weird. I haven't had, but I think that Nicotine Dolls are amazing. Go check them out.
Yeah, everybody go check those out. What about something like your favorite TV series or something you might be binging right now?
One of my favorite TV series is Fleabag season 2. I was in love with Hot Priest. I will never not be in love with Hot Priest. He is my boyfriend. I love him. Obviously, The Way Home on Hallmark because that's just a number one. And what am I binging right now? Guys, I just binged Love Is Blind because I'm obsessed with it.
We love these answers. It's like, oh no, right. like you know, same as all the rest of us.
Yeah,
Love is
somebody
Blind.
just gave Jersey Shore the other day as their answer.
Oh my
So
God.
we love a good reality show.
Love is Blind is so fun for me to watch because I like the psychological idea that like you meet somebody and you don't get to see them and that you fall in love with who they are. I think there's something fun and beautiful about that. Do I think it's insane that they get married in like 20 minutes? Yes. But I love people meeting without seeing each other. I think there's something really, actually I had a whole, one of my short films is called The Curtain. And that whole short film is about two people meeting behind a curtain in a hospital and they never see each other.
I love that.
Yeah,
See, they probably took the idea from your short.
Yes, that must have been it, obviously.
But even the voice is like that. It's like you're picking a voice and you don't get to see them.
Right.
And
the other thing I'm watching right now is One Day, the series. And
Okay.
Don't tell me anything if you've seen it because everybody
I
keeps
haven't seen
crying. They're posting stuff where they're crying, and I'm like, why is everybody crying? But the movie was Anne Hathaway. Do you remember the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it's, again, I love the idea of like fate brings you together when you're supposed to find that person. You will, even if it's not what you want in that moment. I love that idea.
All right.
It's a beautiful idea.
Yeah. What's your favorite line you've ever said as Rita?
Poker? I love poker. That was my favorite.
Right?
I also have another line.
No hesitation there. You knew it.
Best line. It's such a great line. There's also another line where I was packing. Like Rita has a gun on her hip. She'd like packing heat. And Norman's like, what? And I was like, amazing. Like I love Martha and I talked about that a lot because I was like, Martha, don't you think Rita would like take karate classes on the side and be like really good at it? Which is like so, she's like, that might work. I was like, I would love Rita to just
take
be like this.
And it'd have to be Taekwondo, like
and could like fight anybody. Like that is so something Rita would do in her skirt and heels. Like that would be ridiculous and fun.
I'm there for that. We have a serious karate background at this household. Let's bring that. Let's make that happen. I'm ready. No, because Rita has like all these like secrets, like skills. Like, she's like, oh, I can do that. Yeah.
She's so random, but that's why I love her so much. I'm so excited to be her again. I'm so excited to see Norman again. And Jeff and I love each other so much, and we also drive each other so crazy. And I miss that dynamic. It's like if you put us in a room together within 5 minutes, we're like fighting like brother and sister. We're like eating off each other's plate and like stealing each other's stuff. Like it's very, it's just such an easy working relationship with him when he's not driving me nuts.
That's like that comfortable.
No, it is
where you
can
family be yourself too and bring your work to your best work.
Yeah, we're family 100%. Like I'm never going to get rid of Jeff. He'll be in every show I'm in for the rest of my life. It'll just happen that way. Like,
or you're just sending him things anyways because you're whatever you're doing, right? No, like those are wonderful, and then we benefit from those relationships when things come to the screen because it just brings it more, right?
Sure, 100%.
Absolutely. Well, Crystal, tell us again what movie is airing this Saturday on the Hallmark channel.
Shifting Gears, March 23rd. Please tune in. I'm going to be doing my own little family and friends screening while the movie is on in Pacific Standard Time. So I'm going to be doing lives and I'll be doing little videos. So check out my Instagram page. I'm going to try and get back on X. I'm not good at it anymore. I've been off for a long time. I'm going to try and get back on there and start live tweeting with everybody. This, besides the movie being great, and we're like have Tyler and Kat, so like, and Kristen, so watch for that. Even if you have something else to do, turn it on because I really want to support this program. I want to show what can happen to not just, Hallmark, they already know, but to the industry as a whole, what can happen when you elevate women and what kind of numbers we can bring to the table. That's really at the end of the day, the thing that's always used, right? And I will tell you guys, the most recent study I saw, only 1 in 6 directors is a woman. We are not even close, and we don't want everything. We just want to be kind of close, guys. Happy. That's what we're looking for. So, really please support it and support for Ashley's hard work in this. I'm very grateful for that.
Well, we're excited for Shifting Gears on Sunday, and we will be there supporting it.
Saturday, yes.
Saturday,
and I think that
Saturday, 8/7 Central, actually. 8/7 Central.
Yes.
Does it air Pacific time at the same time, or is it an hour later Pacific?
I think it's
8/7.
I don't know. I think it's 8/7 Central.
Okay.
God,
and it's
no,
airing at the same time. So you can because sometimes Hallmark does the delayed 1 hour.
Right.
No. I think it's the same
It's
time.
all gonna wait. So if you get onto X, you'll be live tweeting with us all.
What is your handle on X?
On Instagram, I'm at official Crystal Lowe. On X, I'm at real Crystal Lowe.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will look for the real Crystal Lowe.
Just for me. Because there are some people that are not me. So I don't, be weary of that.
We've noticed.
And know that like in a million years, I'm never going to ask for anything. Like I'm not going to, when I was fundraising, that was a bit different because I did actual video footage. Like, when I was fundraising for my film, you'll see a video of me. It'll be me. Otherwise it's not me. So
it's always, that's rampant right now. So I'm glad you said that. We'll absolutely post that clip. Crystal, thank you so much for being here. And we're excited to see
thank you for
shifting
having me.
gears.
Woohoo! Let's shift some gears.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye.